Hello. It's Sunday morning. My hope, my plan for the moment is to bring you a little Sunday morning chat every week, just on some topic that I've put a little bit of thought into, but I haven't taken any notes or anything. I am enjoying, by the way, some delicious coffee from Rwanda. I made a video the other day about French press coffee, and if you want to learn how easy it is and how much money it can save you to roast your own coffee beans and brew them in a French press, it's really easy. So check out that video. Uh, what I want to talk about today is being satisfied with yourself as you are. I have a kind of a short list of topics I want to talk about in the next few weeks, and I was trying to decide which one I was going to talk about today, and I remembered that I listened to a podcast the other day. It's called the Gentle Rebel Podcast. I just started listening to it. It's pretty good. The guy is obviously very smart, and he has a lot of helpful things to say, and he has like 250 episodes or something. I don't know how he does it every week. But this one that he put out last week, he talked about how we kind of learn from the beginning of our lives that we need to get good at something. That's how we stand out as individuals. That's how we make people like us. Is by doing something that people can see, something that people can be impressed with, so we can get a pat on the back. And it kind of teaches us from early in life that it's not enough to just be what you are. You have to be more than what you are. And the guy pointed out, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with learning a new skill and becoming better. In fact, we want to, like I said in my video the other day, we want to keep aiming to be our higher self, our highest self. If we can picture what that is, I don't know how easy that is for most people. I kind of assume it's easy because it's easy for me to picture, the most amazing me that I will eventually be, or that maybe I am sometimes. And I don't know if that's easy for everyone, but that is our aim. So there's nothing wrong with trying to be better. We are trying to be better. But what he was saying is that it's also important, I would say it's just as important, to be satisfied with what you are now. Sometimes I do feel like I am being my highest self. Time is funny that way. Your highest self isn't necessarily some far-off future thing, and this is just my opinion. I'm no expert at this stuff, but I feel like sometimes I am my highest self. And maybe, as I continue to learn and grow, in the future I will be more and more often like my highest self. But I do feel it's important to be happy with what I am. Obviously a lot of people aren't, People are terrible to themselves. People kill themselves for all sorts of reasons, I guess. It's only human to get down on yourself sometimes. It happened to me this week. Don't quite remember the circumstances now. But I just started feeling kind of worthless. I think one of my kids was just either not happy with me or just kind of not as affectionate toward me, and it kind of got me down. Because I was talking with my wife about, improvements that I could make in how I spend time with my kids, and just it made me sad about how I had been in the past, but it also made me, think about how I want to be better in the future. So, it's natural to get down on yourself. And maybe that is important to start to be more like your higher self. Sometimes you gotta be sad about the things you've done in the past, the attitudes you've had in the past, so that you can change those now. You know, no more of that. If I'm going to aim to be my highest self, I got to throw away those things that are holding me back. I've got to find ways to do better. But you know, we're talking about past things, and we're talking about being better in the future. But there is always a now, where those past things are no more. Those future things are yet to come. I need to find a way to be happy with what I am now, or I might as well kill myself, right? I don't know, maybe that's not okay to say. Sorry. The first thought I had when I thought about talking about this was, I like to think about the non-human world, which is most of the world. You know, it's easy to get fixated on humans and what we're doing, and I am an animist, which means I try to find the being in everything around me, especially here where I live. In my yard is where I mostly focus, because it's kind of overwhelming to think about the whole world, and there's no need to, you know. This society we're in now, we're expected to live globally and be thinking about everyone in the world all the time, which I don't think is even good for the world, but that's a topic for another time. I concentrate very locally. I think that's important for a lot of reasons. And I look at my favorite tree that I'm looking at right here. Might as well show it to you. This is my dogwood tree. I talk to it. It's my favorite tree in the world. It reminds me a lot of myself in a lot of ways. You notice, you don't have to notice, you know this. It just sits there. It looks like it's not doing anything. But you know, looks can be deceiving. We know how good trees are for the environment. They're beautiful to look at. Obviously, it is taking things from the soil. It is receiving energy from the sun. It's doing a lot, even though it looks like it's just sitting there. That tree is its highest self. Trees have a lot of limitations, but so do humans. I think a lot of the ideas that I'm having about this topic came from meditation, which if you're not doing, it helps a whole lot. In so many ways. Not just with witchcraft, but it helps for being a human. Sometimes I think about, I like to think about the fact that I am evolved from apes. And there are apes still here to show us, you know, what that was like. Being evolved in our environment, however that happened to humans, doesn't mean being evolved to some super being, some superpower, some higher divine creature, like what Christianity teaches, and probably other religions as well. Apes have limitations. They have smaller brains. They don't have much in the way of language. They seem to be very limited when it comes to using tools. They have smaller brains. But our brains aren't that much bigger. There's a lot that we can do. There's a lot that humans have done. There's a lot of humans who do a lot more than I can do. But in the big scheme of things, we're still just evolved apes. I mean, according to Wikipedia, we are apes. You're an ape, all right? Get over it. And as an ape, it's hard to put this feeling I have into words. Even though I'm aiming to be my best self, even though I can do a lot more than an ape can, and I'm very happy and grateful for that, and I want to teach my kids to do lots of neat things, I just find it helpful to remember that I am an ape, and apes don't do any more than they're expected to. They eat, sleep, hunt, poop. Sorry. And at the basics, that's pretty much what we do, you know? Apes learn, we learn. Apes communicate, we communicate. We build. Humans build a lot more than apes do. Humans also destroy. We have a lot in common with the apes. Well, I mean, we are apes. The point is, don't be hard on yourself. Don't compare yourself to other humans too much. In fact, maybe that's the point. Compare yourself to apes, because you're doing great. You do so much. It's hard when you see some of the incredible humans, and those are the ones that get the most attention, so those are the ones that we hear the most about, is the ones who are amazing. There are a lot of amazing humans. It's easy to get jealous and then get down on yourself because you're not amazing. It's something you just have to realize that, you know, a lot of us we do have limitations, all kinds of different limitations. I've got talents and skills. There are some things I can do very well that people around me find amazing because they can't do that. So I get down on myself. So I'm not famous. So I'm not some amazing professor publishing amazing papers and being famous for that. So I'm not doing anything that makes me famous. I'm here. I'm doing good things. I had a counselor for a couple of years, and she always brought it back to what I'm doing with my kids, what my wife and I do with our kids. Basically, it comes down to not holding them down with a bunch of the stuff that held us down when we were kids. And, you know, teaching them to be peaceful by not being violent toward them. Very important. That'll definitely be a video. Maybe a controversial one. Oh, losing my train of thought, sorry. So we are doing good things because we're being good parents. And do you know how much of a difference that can make? These kids have decades more to live. What we teach them and what we don't force upon them is going to make such a huge difference in my family line, my wife's family line. Things are going to improve a lot just because my wife and I are being decent toward our children and trying to teach them to be decent people in gentle and peaceful ways. And they're going to pass that on to their kids. They're going to pass that on to other parents, people their age who are going to be parents too. They're going to influence them just by being who we are. My wife and I are making a huge difference. And you know what? I bet, I don't know who you are watching this right now. I don't know anything about you, but I bet that you are doing amazing things. I had a thought the other day about that old movie, It's a Wonderful Life. Oh, it's irrelevant. But yeah, that movie kind of comes into play here because, you know, in that movie, if you haven't seen it, the guy asks heaven, basically, you know, what good am I? My family would be better off without me. Everybody would be better off without me. And then heaven sends an angel to show him that the world would be completely different if he weren't in it. And yeah, that's just a silly movie, but there might be some truth there. It's something good to remind ourselves of, even if we've seen that movie 100 times. It has a really good point. You're special. You are important. You're important to the people around you. Don't take that away from them. I don't get really big into celebrities, but I have lost some celebrities who were important to me in the last couple of years. The one that hit me the hardest was this past year when Dolores O'Riordan passed away. Well, we just still don't know. We still don't know the details of that. But I guess first I was thinking of Chris Cornell, because even though there's some controversy out there, it seems like maybe he took his own life, and I think about that a lot. I haven't lost anyone close to me in a personal way that way, but these celebrity deaths have been getting to me and just making me think a lot, especially when I get down on myself and start feeling worthless. I've never been suicidal, but I think probably most people have those kinds of thoughts now and then. Just thinking about, what would it be like? What would happen if I did that? The world needs you. Keep on going. Be happy with who you are. It seems like a really Mr. Rogers thing to say, but you know what? Mr. Rogers had a lot of valid points. Well, I hope I've said everything that I meant to say here. I think so, because I didn't have a lot of plans for this talk, which you could probably tell. Thanks for hanging on with me. I hope it's been helpful for you. If you have maybe a more put together thought about this topic, I would love to read it in the comments. I would love to have a discussion on this. I don't want this to just be about me. I'm doing this for you, for all of you out there. I'm trying to give back a little bit, to be helpful, because I've learned so much from YouTube. I really have. From my counselor and from lots of people in my life. My wife is one of my best teachers. So I'm trying to give back. I hope it was helpful, and I hope you have a wonderful day. I would love it if you comment, subscribe, share. Thanks. Have a good day. Bye.